Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up. Making that money, rain on me. Making that money, living that dream. Making that money, rain on me. Making that money, living that dream. I'm gonna love it when paper keeps coming. Nothing that I can't buy. When I finally lose count, there will be no doubt. I'll know that I've arrived. Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up, stack it up. Making that money, rain on me. Making that money, living that dream.
Well guys, here we are again chasing after some more old iron. Now I found this girl on Facebook Marketplace, and after about a week of back and forth negotiating with the owner, we were finally able to agree on a price that met our budget. With that being said, I did not hesitate to go ahead and pull the trigger on this purchase and bought it completely sight unseen. Now a lot of times around the shop, it's kind of hard for me and Dad to break away, so I reached out to my good buddy Scott that we bought the old Metro van from, and he was willing and able to meet us halfway to pick her up. So now we're headed that way. We're about to lay eyes on her for the first time. I have to say that this old girl is definitely in a breed of her own. So I'm hoping that she's everything that I expected and more. If not, maybe we'll just flip her for a little extra cash.
What's a nice rig?
Thank you, sir.
I got one just as nice.
That's a beauty, ain't it?
It is. Everywhere I went, everybody's going on and on about it.
Getting some looks?
Oh, everywhere. Everybody trying to guess what it is.
Yes, sir. Well, I sure appreciate you meeting us over here
You
with
bet,
it.
man.
So, I'd have never thought we'd have meet up again, at least this soon.
No, but as soon as I saw it, I said, that looked like it escaped from Pagoda.
Yeah.
It looks like I can see it right there with
Yeah.
y'all's yard.
Man, I love it.
I've never seen it. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Yeah. Now, I seen it on Facebook. You know, these little old cars, them little old Honda 600s are kind of rare in themselves.
They are.
We've had one once before, but this one is in a category of its own for sure.
It sure is. Like I said, whoever did it, the way they did run the headlights and all the work, they did really detailed a lot of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool how they did the old, use the old Jeep front grille on it there.
Yeah.
Kind of made use of where the headlights would have been on that though.
They really did a good job on it, really did.
One of those got about every accessory they probably could come up with put on it.
Yeah, I like the little stoplight in the back too, like old school bus stoplight.
Oh yeah.
Now what is this piece up here on the dash, that clear thing? What is that? Is that one of those things to indicate for high beam or not? Or
huh?
I didn't know what it was.
I don't really know what that is.
You know, some of the old cars had them when a car was coming at you. If you had your high beams on, and they'd lower them off or whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Huh? Yeah.
It's neat looking anyway.
Kind of magnifies it like a magnifying glass.
But I was figuring these fenders might have come off one of those Volkswagen things because the louvers in them is the only reason why I would think that.
And it may be something when the sun comes through it, that's your heater.
It might be. Might catch you on fire.
I'm surprised they don't have a sunroof in it.
Right. Well, if it did, it probably wouldn't have any floors in it.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
That's a tight little old car, though, considering four-wheeler.
Whoever did it didn't do too bad of a job with it,
It really did. And those bumpers, I know, they probably weren't off of Willis.
No?
So I don't know what they come off of. They really do fit
Something
good.
small, though, huh?
Probably,
I mean,
maybe the Honda.
car,
I bet you're right. You're probably the Honda,
Yeah.
Definitely unique.
Huh. Yeah, the back end of it's kind of about the most primitive looking of the whole car, I guess you'd say. Yeah, there's that old stoplight.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. Yeah.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, he said it supposedly it will run, but I don't know.
Well, it looked like the straps are loose. I'm like, maybe they cleaned out the gas tank, and I noticed it did have a little gas leak, but nothing major other than that, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't try starting it, I just loaded it.
Yeah.
But you got all the military wheels with it
Right, yeah.
and a spare.
I'm gonna look at the motor real quick. I think it's a little old 4-cylinder that would have been on that Willy's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure is, isn't it?
Ain't too bad.
No, it looks bone stock under the hood, doesn't it?
Yeah. New battery, that's a good sign.
Yeah. Right.
Well, man, I guess I'll try to get her unloaded, and I don't know, is there any keys in it even?
Yeah, keys in it, but I couldn't pull it out, so I guess it's just stuck in the ignition.
Yeah. Well, we'll roll her off. I may see if it tries to turn over or
Yeah,
something.
I didn't even try it. Yeah, I bet it will.
Yeah.
It might have enough fuel in it.
Yeah. We'll get her unloaded here and see what I can do with it.
Right. Like I said, it definitely belongs in y'all's collection, that's for sure.
Yeah. Guess I'll throw her out of gear real quick.
Yeah, yeah, it rolls real easy.
Where's the brake? I guess right there in the middle there?
Yes, sir. But there's a emergency brake, and then like I said, it was in gear. Might want to cut your wheel just
Yeah.
Let me roll this window down.
a little bit. There you go.
Looking all right on that side?
Yeah, you got plenty if you can get it to go that way a little.
Yeah, this thing, I think we'll have fun with it if we can get it up and running.
Yeah.
That thing's light, isn't it?
Yeah.
It rolls real good, like I said. I never tried starting it. It might fire right up. He told you it ran, didn't he?
Yeah, it's supposed to run.
I believe it. He's a good guy. He sells a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
You got the emergency brake?
I guess I need to, don't
Yeah. That's the first thing I'd do. Unless you want it to load back up, it might load by itself.
Move my truck and then come back and it's done rolled off onto the interstate.
Right. My name is Scott Seahorn. I had met Lance a while back. He purchased an ice cream truck from a friend of mine, and anyway, I've watched their channels and I really enjoy their shows and weather restore stuff. Anyway, he had found this down by me, and it looked just like something that needs to be in his yard. It's kind of stuff that he builds and collects. And so I was happy to bring it up here to him, meet him halfway here in Greenville, Texas.
Well, what do you think about her?
She's different for sure.
I think I've done seen about 20 people taking pictures of
Yeah.
it already.
Yep, it's quite the
It's one of those
beast.
things that everybody likes to look at, but nobody wants to have, I
Right,
think.
yeah.
He told me that it would run, but old brake pedal's all the way down to the floor on the,
Well, then you're used to that though.
yeah. I guess I can see if it'll try to
it'll crank?
crank. Ready?
Ready?
It's out of gear. Now ignition switch just, I guess you crank it in the floor.
Turns over at least.
Yeah. I may got the ignition switch in the wrong position. Nothing. Ooh,
Ouch.
I'm out of gear.
Oh. How about that?
It does run.
It does run. Doesn't sound bad either.
Huh, that's crazy. I'm gonna try to drive it on the trailer. Let's let the trailer down. I'll just drive it up on there then.
I'd rather do that than push it.
Cool. Well, sometimes you can't ever tell. Here we go, I guess. Come on, girl. Low geared, little booger. She should climb right up on there, though.
Definitely looks like it was built for him.
Look all right.
Looking good.
Hope this emergency brake works. I love this little thing already.
Probably good right there.
Good?
I think that's good.
Well, I don't think the emergency brake works anyways.
Yeah.
I can't believe it runs that good, though.
I know it yet. I don't know if you're gonna have issues with it spitting and sputtering trying to come up or not, but it seemed to idle pretty good coming up that thing and that.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Looked like it was made just for you.
Right up our alley, ain't
Yeah,
it?
it'll fit right in at the shop.
Yep. I figure let's get her strapped down, get her back to the shop. I don't know what the plans are on this old girl, mate.
Just have fun in it.
Yeah, I'd love to take her off road. See, hopefully the four-wheel drive works in it, and dig into it. And
These old four-wheel drives,
Yeah.
a lot better than the newer ones.
yeah,
They'll
they're
probably
hard to
last
break
forever.
too. So, well, get her strapped down and get her back to the shop. See what we can't tear up on it, anyways.
Okay. It never ceases to amaze me how Lance is able to go out and find these weird vehicles, creatures, whatever you want to call them. But normally we wind up having to go out in the woods and spend all day, possibly 2 days, trying to dig them out. If he can find them and we load them up at the Walmart parking lot instead of digging them out of the woods, that's a plus for me.
You know, I never really know what to expect when you buy these vehicles sight unseen, especially when you're dealing with a Frankenstein of this category here. But being able to lay eyes on it, I have to say I couldn't be happier with it. A lot of people say stuff was running when they were parked, but this one actually cranking up, driving on the trailer, it's definitely going to save a lot of time that we're going to have to invest to it in the shop. Can't believe she actually runs. Well, very seldom do we have one that'll actually drive into the shop, huh?
Yeah, very seldom do we have one that we're not going to bag though.
I don't know what makes you think that.
That's
Being
true.
that she's already up and running, figure we're gonna have to figure out something to do with it, but
Yeah,
at least we ain't got to figure out if she'll fire up or not. But
right. Well, it's got the main hard part, what I consider the hard part done.
they did a pretty good job on this whole thing. I mean, obviously there's some stuff rigged,
Yeah.
but that's kind of to be expected when you try to put an old Honda Civic on a Jeep frame, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Figure this thing right here needs to go. Ain't much of a gas tank.
No.
That's even a little bit more embarrassing than our gravity feed tank we use.
I think we could almost use a Coke bottle and get that much gas in it.
Yeah. And everything else on the motor-wise doesn't look too bad. It's not oily or anything like that.
Right.
Oh, carburetor must be pretty solid. I'll choke it and hit the pedal and it cranks right up. So.
I mean, really, that's what, gas and brakes?
Yeah. Yeah, no brakes. You getting a wild hair idea that we try to do brakes on one?
Right.
You're getting a little crazy on us there.
Well, we've saved this part of it. Maybe we can.
Yeah, we could. We could go ahead and try to do brakes on it. I figured probably needs all the works, master cylinder, wheel cylinders, all that stuff.
At least check the price of it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going out mudding, I kind of want brakes.
Yeah, you might need brakes, huh? Well, let's get started. Go ahead and get this old gas tank out of the way and try to figure out something. I don't know if the fuel pump does have a fuel pump. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if not, we'll try to, fix something up for that.
Right.
We can run a little inline pump or something on it, get the gas tank worked out, and then price some brake parts and decide what we want to do from there.
Yep.
It's really hard to say of whether or not these parts are going to be hard to find for this car. Being that it's half Honda, half Willys, just makes it a little bit of a challenge in itself. But being that it is a Willys on the bottom half, on the drivetrain where we're looking for the brakes and the master cylinder, all those parts there, I think it's definitely going to be a lot cheaper and a lot easier to find. If we were looking for the Honda Civic parts, those things would probably be almost impossible with such an early car. So hopefully I can dig in here, find some parts, hopefully they're reasonable, and get this thing a little bit closer to stock. Already got it out of there?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Just a couple screws back here and a board wedged in back behind it there. I almost fell out.
Oh, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
Doesn't look too bad.
No, it looks solid. It stinks. Yeah.
Yeah, I can smell that old gas. Got a little gas still up in it, don't it?
Yeah.
Got a bunch of old rust and dirt type stuff.
That won't hardly go through the filter, will it?
Definitely ain't gonna work in the carburetor.
No.
Well, surely that we can try to clean that out somewhat, because it looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'd like to go ahead and try to use it if we can.
And with it having gas in it, I mean, if it had a leak or a hole in it,
I don't think there's no rust holes in it. Probably try to mount it up in there a little better.
Yeah, I think we can. We'll figure out something better than that.
Yeah. Well, I got us some brake parts, master cylinder, wheel cylinders, so.
When will they be in?
Oh, they got them in stock.
Oh.
They actually have them in stock, so yeah, I figured we'd have to order them. But I don't know if you want to go ahead and take a little break, grab some lunch, pick those up, come back and pull that off and start on those.
Sounds good to me.
Get this cleaned out and then we'll see if that fuel pump's gonna let it pump up there and everything.
Yep.
Start
Works for
messing
me.
with those stupid brake lines.
Already?
Hate those things.
When Bub first got this car, I was a little unsure about it. To me, it kind of seems like a dad mobile, not really like a speed racer or anything like that, but I don't know, Dad and Bub started working on it and it's growing on me.
Well, what do you think on her?
I think it's my favorite car.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are you gonna think when we decide to get rid of it?
I'm thinking I might offer you a smart car for it.
I think everything we've bought so far since you've been helping us has been your favorite car, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know where she gets that from.
Oh. Well, sometimes they're easy to get attached to, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely like her as well. I don't know how that can be on something that's so ugly, but...
Hey, that's mean. So what's the next step on it?
Well, Dad's got that gas tank dropped out of there. I figure we'll go ahead and start on the brakes. Hopefully all the four-wheel drive stuff works. If it does, we'll kind of want some brakes in case we get to sliding off the road or something. We'll have to crawl up underneath there and it may be fun. Most of the time them old brake lines are hard to get at, or hard to break loose.
You think it's gonna take long, or?
Hopefully not. Guess we'll see how it goes though.
Good thing is, if they mess up, we didn't have brakes to begin with.
True, that's true.
So there wasn't a whole lot of things that we needed to do to this vehicle to get it up and running, so we decided to spend a little bit more time maybe on the brakes and the gas tank and that on this. So I've got the wheel off, we're fixing to tackle these brakes. I'm gonna try to wrestle the wheel cylinders. I don't really understand his thinking on this. You know, normally he's just like, let's ride it without brakes. That's just going down the highway though. This and his gonna be going through the mud, so he wants brakes.
So most of you guys probably know that we don't typically mess with a whole lot of brake work around the shop here. Me and Dad will normally pull in these old vehicles and try to get them up and running, and I'm very anxious just to send them on down the road the way they are. With this one already being alive, I just feel like we're probably just cheating ourselves if we don't go ahead and fix the brakes on it. But it being very old, being four-wheel drive, being drum brakes at that, and I'm not really familiar with them. I mean, I don't even know, who knows when we're done here, if it's even going to be any better than when we started.
Is it supposed to look like that?
What do you mean?
I mean, all that slime coming out of it.
That's just grease. I mean, that's what keeps the front end greased up and that. Yeah, it's gonna be nasty. It'll get worse than this.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
It's gross.
This being a four-wheel drive instead of a two-wheel drive means that we're going to have to dig in a lot deeper, remove a lot more parts, get a lot more nastier just to get down to the parts that we need to remove.
As we're digging in deeper on this old car and being able to examine it up underneath it a little bit better, checking everything out, and it looks to be built together pretty solid. Not a whole lot of rigging as what I expected on this car whenever we first purchased it here. So it makes everything a lot easier. Now everything is in a lot tighter of a quarters as they normally would be though. So it just takes a little bit more time to get the parts off. But the way they've got them done, it looks like it should work pretty well. Well, got the master cylinder off there.
Just
Little bitty old baby thing.
Yeah, just about to get this, I think.
Oh, you got the brains and guts and everything
Guts
pulled
and
out of that,
everything.
don't
Yep, there it goes.
you? I wasn't even thinking about having to tear it down that much.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. A little dusty.
Pads ain't too bad, are they?
No, pads look pretty good.
Huh.
And master cylinder, I mean, the
Yeah,
wheel
old
cylinders.
Boots and shot
Shot on
I
it.
knew they would be.
Yep.
I I guess I'll go grab the parts, make sure everything looks to be what we need anyways. Like I said, a little bit the same way on this, it's all just shot on the brake lines come right out though, the part I was dreading the most.
Yeah, that's good. That's usually the thing that tears up first.
Yeah. Luckily they had built everything to where it wasn't too hard. They even welded the nuts on the back side, so I didn't have to get a wrench back there.
Cool.
I'll go grab them parts and some brake clean, try to clean that up. It sure is grimy, ain't it?
Yeah, it's grimy.
Get it cleaned up and see what we can't get switched out.
Alrighty.
So here's what we got going on right now. We ordered a new master cylinder, we ordered wheel cylinders. The good thing is it looks like our wheel cylinders are going to be a perfect match, except they're a whole lot cleaner and a whole lot better shape. The bad news is our new master cylinder is about double of the size of the original one that was on this car, which means it's got a different size bore in here, which might have still worked out, but the problem is our whole bolt pattern and everything is off on that. So I'm gonna have to get on the phone, make a couple calls, see exactly what's going on right here. Hopefully they've just got the smaller diameter bore size of this master cylinder. Go pick it up. We'll go ahead and start throwing these wheel cylinders on there. All in all, once we get all these parts put back in there, new brake shoes, all that good stuff, this thing should be able to stop on the dime. Now back to the whole master cylinder problem we have here. Made a few more phone calls trying to track down the proper fitment of this cylinder we need for this car. The only responses that I've had so far is basically that we can order another one, but it's very likely they'll come in the same one that you got there. So now I'm trying to scheme up think around of just, what we might have around the shop or what we can do to actually make this thing stop.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now. Ain't backing down. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do.
We bought this old Mel Jeep, it had to been at least 6 years ago. And the fact that I even bought a master cylinder for something that's so far away from driving anyways, just blows my mind. And the fact that if this thing even comes close to being similar to fitting this car, well, I have to give all credit to God on that.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now.
And that, my friends, is what you call a blessing.
Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do.
Now that I've got this tore down far enough that I can actually see what I'm working on, I can tell these wheel cylinders definitely need to be replaced. So now it's just to get back behind them, try to loosen off these old rusty brake lines. Hopefully they'll cooperate.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now.
I'm not really sure if I mentioned that I absolutely hate messing with drum brakes. This is really not going along too bad, I don't guess. But you got all these springs, everything's super rusted up front here. Now we're having to mess with all these bearings and grease everywhere. I'll be glad when we get these front ones knocked out, move on to the back, see how she works.
When I first saw the slime coming out of the front end, I thought, who would want to do this every day for their job? I mean, Dad had it all on his hands and his clothes. But the more I saw Bub and Dad work on it, I thought, hey, this looks pretty fun. I don't think they'd actually let me work on it, but if they did, I'm pretty confident I could fix it.
have a little bit of an unspoken rule around the shop here. If someone shows a little interest with a little hands-on help on any kind of project we have going on, especially if it's something that we don't really show a whole lot of interest in ourselves, it's definitely fair game for them to go ahead and try to help out the best they can.
It really excites me that Christian has showed an interest in working on these old vehicles and that. Christian is really good at whatever she does. She tends to put her mind to it and she goes at it and stays steady with it until she gets it complete. The only bad part about that is when she gets home with greasy hands and greasy clothes, her mama ain't gonna be happy.
I honestly don't know the names of most of these tools, but I'm working circles around Dad, and if the car just so happens to fall apart, I'll just blame it on Bub.
Now that we got that behind us, one last thing on this brake system to see if anything's even functioning the way we need it to. We need to go ahead and add a little fluid, top it off, try to see if we can get the air out of this system and bleed the brakes, see if they'll pump up and see if it seems like it's going to stop. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here it goes.
All right.
Starting to get a little bit of a pedal already.
Oh, good. Maybe it kind of gravity flowed. Okay, hold it.
Getting anything?
Yeah, get some air and some fluid. Okay,
Pump it.
pump it.
Oh, I hear the brakes.
Yeah, I see it moving back here. Okay.
All right. Starting to get a pedal now.
Yep, just straight fluid that time.
All right, cool. It's feeling pretty good.
Good. Yeah, I can see the tires locking up, so I know the brakes are working.
Yeah, I can hear the front ones too already. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead and start pumping and I'll get positioned here.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with a vehicle that actually has working brakes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oop.
I don't know if that was the brakes or you. Heard something squirt out.
A little of both. I think whenever it came out, it kind of scared me. Okay, we're good.
Front ones?
Front ones.
Yeah, they may not need much.
No, these ones here didn't need much, so. You never know when you're working on these old brake systems and that. These old brake lines that are in there, if they're rusted, you don't know how much pressure they're gonna hold. You start pumping it up and that, anything could blow.
That pedal feels better than it does on my Duramax. I think that's got it. I guess we done something right anyways.
Yeah. I say we let Christian do all the brake jobs from here on out.
Yeah, I'm definitely game for that, especially when it comes to these old drum brakes.
Yeah, I was surprised that we went into it so deep on the front, but.
Yeah, sometimes they can be a pain in the butt, but worked out pretty good, and her getting to get a little hands-on never hurts anything, I don't guess.
No, it surprised me that she decided to after saying, ew.
Ew, I don't like slime. Yep, that's always a neat learning experience when you got to get hands-on, but always fun at first until you're doing it every day, and sometimes it
becomes a job instead of...
It becomes a job for sure. Now, this one went pretty good, I feel like, so at least we got that part done, move on to the next step, and see what else we can dig into her. I mean, anxious to see her, get her out on the road and see what kind of looks we can
make sure we do have brakes.
Yeah, try them out for sure, huh? She got a little slime on her. And, Yeah.
I laughed. I thought, oh no, I hope he can't use this.
Before we can see if this old car is going to actually stop for us, we got to get a little go back into her. With that old rusty gas tank, we definitely don't want to put fuel into it and have it pumping up into this fuel system. So we're going to try to clean it out the best we can, see what we can do, see what we're even working with here. Yeah, there's some big old nasty stuff up in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, this thing may have seen its last day. Quite a bit of old pieces of stuff down in there. But we can try to keep flushing it out, maybe put some degreaser and some cleaners and stuff down in there, keep sloshing it around, and they make a good fuel tank sealer we can seal it with to keep that rust from getting any worse. But I guess it's just a little bit of back and forth, and clean it until it looks like it's coming out better than root beer brown, I guess you'd say, with metal in it. Or something.
Metal flakes.
Yeah. It's breaking a lot of that stuff up loose in there around this neck, though, I can see already.
I can see a lot down through this hole and that floating around.
We've definitely dealt with our fair share of old nasty fuel systems around the shop. Being that we buy a whole lot of vehicles that have just been left abandoned, that old fuel just sets in there, it gets gummed up, it gets rusty, it just turns into a nasty funk. And that's exactly what has happened on this old tank right here. But like I said, this is not a surprise for us. As long as we can get this thing cleaned out, we should be able to put it back up in there. Everything should work fine. Get some fresh fuel to it, see how she actually runs off the fuel tank. Come on, girl. Pumping already?
Pumping already. I hope it is. I ain't spraying it.
You see anything getting in that fuel bowl?
Yeah, it's about half full.
Well, it's a fuel pump works in, huh?
Yeah.
Got good oil pressure? No trash?
I mean, it's dark colored, but I don't see any trash really.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's obstacle 2 to mark off the list anyways. I say let's get it off these jack stands and see if she'll actually stop. Guess we'll see what she does. Got a little hill here, can at least try out my brakes on. So far, so good. We got brakes.
That's good.
Yeah, I guess Kristen knew what she was doing after all. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to make our little faithful trip over to the car wash.
Alrighty, I'll just tag in behind. I'll get in the vehicle in case something goes wrong, we'll have it.
Yeah, if you see me sitting on the side of the road, you know something probably went haywire.
Okay.
I'll see you there.
Alrighty.
I think this thing would climb a mountain as low geared as she is. Definitely could use some power steering though. Can't believe how well this carburetor seems to be adjusted and running, dirty as that fuel was. good to me. As far as I can tell. Second gear. She's doing pretty good. I'm glad I had brakes too, because I don't think I would have been able to beat that truck. I'm like Christian, this might be one of my favorites around the shop as well now. Definitely gets a lot of looks. She made it. The coolest thing about this old car to me is just how much attention it grabs wherever you have it. The first question that they ask is exactly, what is this thing? And you try to explain it to them and it's like,
A Willy?
It's a Willy, it's a Honda. I mean, I don't really know what you could call her. I mean, Wanda? We could go with Wanda on it, I guess. But
Willy Wanda?
Willy Wanda, so we'll go with that. Willy Wanda and the Chocolate Factory, or Chopped Up Factory. Willy Wanda in the Chopped Up Factory. Here she is. Hang on. Here we go. What do you think about her?
Those brakes work good, don't they?
Yeah. I was a little hesitant at first, you never know. Brakes are something that can be a little important piece to a project.
I know what I'm doing.
You did good.
Thank you.
By now, some of y'all realize how these old gears start turning in my head up here. Being that me and Dad kind of brainstormed together and come up with a name for this car, Wanda, Willy Wanda in the Chopped Up Factory, which I have to say fits this car to a T. I couldn't get on my phone fast enough to call up our good buddy Dan Shanks in Texarkana just to see if he was willing, if his schedule was open. Maybe he could throw some cool logos on here, something that will definitely grab a little bit more attention that we're looking for around the shop.
Boy, what in the world you drug up now?
Now we get that response everywhere we go, it seems like. How are you?
You know what, everything's got to be unique.
Yeah, this is actually an old 1960 Honda Civic, I guess. Basically the first Honda Civic, and they've set it up on an old 52 Willys Jeep frame. So it's kind of what spurred off the name of this old thing. You know, people are like, you know, what is it? Well, it's a 60 Honda and it's a Willy, so we come up with Wanda.
Yeah, right.
A Honda and a Willy, so.
Well, I got something laid out. You know, y'all want to get it off a trailer, we'll put it inside
Okay.
and see if we can't get some
Yeah, believe it or
paint
not,
smeared on it.
believe it or not, this one actually runs and drives and stops. So.
So that's a first.
A little different, ain't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All righty then. Yeah, I'll get it unloaded. You want it just in the shed over
Yeah,
there?
just put it right there in the shop. We'll start gathering up some stuff and see how it turns out.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I sure appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Thanks, sir.
Good to see you again.
You too. So I had somewhat reached out to Shanks and let him know on the theme of what I wanted on this car. Sent him over just a few simple logos of some designs that I liked. And the cool thing about it is that when we got there, I mean, he'd already been messing with it. He already had it all drawn up exactly the way he was going to do it on this car. So being able to lay eyes on it the first time, I have to say I'm absolutely in love with it. Cannot wait to see him put this together, paint it on the car, and just see what she looks like in person.
I'm an artist myself, so painting and drawing, it's really easy for me to get distracted, and it's so satisfying to watch him paint this.
Well, we got her done.
It looks like you've been pretty steady at it, ain't you?
Yeah, that second side goes a whole lot faster than the first. It's we could spend 2 days lettering it, or we could spend a good afternoon. So I think we're right on the.
That's
right
right,
on the
exactly.
deal, so.
Yeah, it's got a cool 70s, 80s vibe to it, so it definitely matches the weirdness of the vehicle, I'd say.
Yeah.
I like it. Did a great job on the color choice too. I think it kind of complements the rest of the vehicle. Looks like a Wonka bar, don't it?
That does. There you go. That's it.
Yep. All right. Well, cool. I appreciate you getting on it. I know it was kind of a spur of the moment type deal. So
That's what we do around here. Everything's done today.
yes, sir. All righty. Well, I'll get you paid up and just get it loaded up and head back to Pagoda and see what we can't do with her next.
Make a good show out of it.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. See
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's time to get going. It's time to move on. Put this behind me. That day is gonna come. I'm breaking the walls down one by one. Nothing can stop me. That day is gonna come.
Well, needless to say, our friend Dan has done it again. The artwork on this car had just turned out phenomenal. I love the colors he went with on it. I feel like everything just complements each other very well on this thing. So once we get it back to the shop, we can kind of gaze it out a little bit more. Still itching to do a little bit more to this car, not exactly sure what, but very happy with the way she's turned out so far. Well, what do you think on the old girl?
I think you did a real good job on it. Made it kind of look like a,
pretty slick, didn't it?
yeah, made it look like a candy wrapper, kind of.
Yeah, I guess a bite-sized one anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost did a little bit too good a job. It's a little better than the rest of the finish of the car.
Yeah.
I'll be able to paint them fenders, find a color, and we can match those up a little better. It definitely ain't ever gonna be no show car, but
No.
because we can work with what we got on it.
That's right, yeah. And at least we've got some kind of a logo on the side of it that kind of gives somebody a definition of
A
what
little bit of an explanation on it. She's Wanda. She's definitely chopped up, so that's, in a world of pure imagination, this is the baby of it, I guess.
Yep.
Already gets a ton of attention. I know that's just going to put the cherry on top.
Right.
Everyone wants to get the picture with the little cute car,
That's what I
though.
was just fixing to say.
So I'd like to try to, before we put it out and kind of wrap our names around it, I'd like to try to add a little bit more, maybe some aggressiveness to it, and a little bit of something that maybe will make old women and little kids run from it rather than run to it.
Yeah. We can either do that or run over them.
Yeah. No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
That you've been drinking, well, it's really drowning you. And all the people that you've been blaming, well, they should be blaming you. All the time you say was wasted, well, it was wasted all by you. And all the love that walked away was really left behind by you. Down, down so low, how deep into the ground can one man dig a hole? Down, down so low, leaving you crying out, have mercy on my soul. Down so low.
No longer than we've had this little car, already we just hear the responses of, what is it? Can I get a picture? And she's so cute. With that being said, I had to do something about that. Stumbled across this really cool set of 35-inch mud tires. They're old, they're worn, should match perfectly on this old car. So we're gonna throw them on there, see how she looks. Definitely think it's gonna up her attitude.
Down so low, leaving you crying out, have mercy on my soul. Down so low, oh Lord, down so low, oh Lord, down so low, oh Lord, down so low. And now you feel like you're drowning, and you can't get no relief. The water's closing around you. You've got to find a way to be free. Down so low, how deep into the ground can one man dig a hole? Down so low, leaving you crying out, have mercy on my soul. Down so low, oh Lord, down so low, oh Lord, down so low, so low. Down so low. into the room. Wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes. I got the attention, I'm on a mission. No sweat in the way I step, I got a fresh new attitude. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now.
Now, when I first come across this old girl, it was definitely something I knew that we could live without around the shop. But being that the money was so right on it, it was just one of those things I felt like I couldn't pass up. So here we are, you know, a small investment, some old wheels and tires that I had laying around the shop, some cool logos, cleaning her up a little bit, and this thing's gonna grab all the attention that we can desire with it for sure. Just keep putting her to the test.
This is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now.
I have to say that I could not be any happier with this old girl and the way she's performing. Everything seems to be running really well. All our gauges are working. We've got good oil pressure. She's not getting hot on us, so she's shifting through all the gears. It's just super rewarding to actually get her out on the road, up to speed, and let her get the attention that she deserves.
And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off,
About to run out of daylight, so I'll at least try to get her back to the shop. I don't think the headlights work on this old girl. Well, here we are. Home sweet home. For a little while anyways.
this is my world now.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you love this crazy contraption as much as I do, then you'll especially love this 1973 Scout and $20,000. All you have to do is go to amaze.com/restored and enter for your chance to win. And the best part is every donation supports the pediatric cancer program and the research they are doing at the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital in Vanderbilt. So hurry up, that's amaze.com/restored. Go there, donate, and good luck.